Welcome back to the Moonshot Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah KB, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic, accepting the help. Okay, accepting the help. This topic is probably going to hit home for a lot of people. So many people, actually. So, a lot of us have a hard time accepting assistance. A lot of us have a hard time accepting help when it comes in the form of, someone else aiding us, right? A lot of the time when this happens, when you find that people have a hard time uh, accepting this, have a hard time adjusting to assistance, it's because they typically have some sort of background with emotional neglect or emotional abandonment issues, right? So these people typically, after, the emotional neglect that happens in the childhood, when they weren't, the caretakers weren't really present with them, emotionally, you know, they didn't come from a very nurturing household, things like that, right? Um, they tend to, retract, and it lasts all the way up into their adult years. And out of a form of staying safe, they don't want to depend on anybody, right? This is how a lot of lone wolves are born. Um, you don't you don't even want to expect people to help you because you don't want the letdown. So to protect yourself from that hurt, you, you're constantly guarded. You understand? Um, Now, of course, for as long as it's necessary, it'll benefit you. It's like a temporary fix, right? It's not really something that you'll be able to do for life, but maybe for that moment, maybe for that time period, um, it made sense for you to do that. And of course, out of, being in a reactive state, you feel like you had to do it for your well-being. Okay. But after some time, especially if you're into this content at this point, this means you're more or less on your spiritual journey now. And so you're really open to evolving, and you're really dealing with your shadow, dealing with the old shit, clearing it out, letting in the new. And while doing so, you might find that, accepting the help is difficult for you, right? You might find that, the things that I just talked about within the childhood may have been your childhood. Basically, when we're dealing with this, it at some point we have to let this go. We have to get beyond um, the belief, that calling up on someone else for assistance is bad, or, or that you're going to be hurt, or you're going to be let down, and, things like this. It's a part of you that's going to tell you that. It's a part of you that's going to reject the help. But this part of you, even though it's time to outgrow it, don't mistake this part of you as your enemy. You know what I mean? Don't mistake this for your enemy. This part of you is still in the mind frame of keeping you safe. Okay? It's still looking to protect you. So it's out of good nature. But what this part of you doesn't really understand yet, because you may have not went through the healing process that you have to go through in order to release that. What that part of you may not understand yet is that it's okay now, right? The environment has changed. This is not, we're not in the same place. And we're looking to get in a different place mentally, emotionally, or physically, right? So, it's going to put up its effort to stop you from healing from your past, uh, healing from the things that made you like this, you know, and it's just trying to protect you, right? So, I feel like that's important because I don't want to. You never want to start making parts of yourself, your own enemy. Okay. All right. So, a lot of times while we're on this spiritual journey, we know about manifestation. We know about calling upon the universe for assistance, calling upon the archangels for assistance, and things like that, right? So, a lot of times when the universe sends you the aid, sends you the help, it's going to send it to you from another person. Now, this is where the old behavior pattern starts to become a problem, starts to become a hindrance for your growth. Okay? If you're still rejecting help because of the old thought pattern and program, but the universe is sending you help in that same form, it's going to be really hard for you to get anywhere with whatever you need assistance with, right? Because, what do you expect the universe to just grow an invisible hand or imaginary hand and come down and just do all this miracle shit, right? It's like, no, it's using the things around you. Just how the universe talks to you through numbers and coincidences, quote unquote, synchronicities and things like that. Messages on the TV when you're thinking about certain things and the TV say it, and all this cool shit, right? The universe uses your physical world in order to communicate with you a lot of the times. So sometimes it will send you the help that you're asking for in the form of a person. But see, then when you see it come in the form of a person, your wall goes up, right? The old program starts to it's been there, it's been in place, but it starts to activate, right? And you'll either, straight up deny or reject the help, or you'll find ways to sabotage it. Subconsciously, reject it. So what we want to do is we want to look at that part of ourselves and try to see what we can do to, well, I'll tell you what to do. Where we go from here is shadow work. If you're having a hard time with things like this, with things as simple as accepting help from others, it's about time that we go ahead and do what we need to do to energetically clear that out, clear that old thought pattern out. Now, of course, we have some people who feel entitled to everybody's help and things like that. It can always be overdone. Either side of the extreme is, too much, right? Either extreme is too much, right? So, of course, I'm not saying that you should just always think somebody else is going to come and do things for you. But I am saying that when we're on the spiritual journey, sometimes we need to be reminded that we're not alone. As much as your ancestors protect you and look out for you in general, you're never alone, right? But when you make up your mind to do something and you're looking to tackle it, you're looking to manifest it or whatever, just remember that you are now tagging the universe in. So all the universe needs is your thought and emotion to focus on, or not just focus, but to channel the thoughts and emotions of having it already. Start putting action towards it, and it will meet you halfway. A lot of times we get discouraged from even starting anything or doing something for ourselves because it seems so outlandish. It seems like it's too much for now. Like, I ain't got the money for that right now. I ain't got the headspace for that right now. You know, I got too much other shit going on, so I won't really be able to do that. But it's like, bro, the universe is like, bro, I didn't ask you to do everything. All I need is for you to let me know what you want vibrationally by matching what you want as if you have it already, and then taking action towards it in faith. That's it. The rest of that shit, I got you. I meet you halfway every time. Sometimes more than half. You understand? So, but when we get this assistance, when we get the universe meeting us halfway, sometimes it comes in the form of other people. Now, of course, use your intuition. Of course, don't take all help that comes your way. You know what I mean? Your gut to tell you, like, okay, I know this person's a piece of shit, and this will really tie me to this person for longer than I would like it to, right? Your intuition will let you know, of course. And it gets even more clear when you deal with the shadow side of this whole thing, this whole ordeal, by doing your shadow work and sitting with these emotions, allowing yourself to feel them and allowing yourself to release them once your emotional body is ready. It's time to move on in your journey, and it's time to accept the help. It's okay to get help. Everybody needs it. It's not one person on this planet that didn't need some form of help, no matter how small, how big, some form of help on their way to becoming self-reliant. All right. Like I said, that's the message for today. That's all I got for y'all. This has been the Moonchild Podcast with the Moonchild with his motherfucking self, Elijah KB. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's going on? It's the Moonchild, Elijah KB. As many of you may know, I do offer spiritual advice sessions in the form of a phone call, one being 30 minutes, the other option being an hour. Well, now I'm offering you guys a shadow work package on that very same website. This shadow work package includes a beginner's guide, a prompt, a chakra chart, and affirmations. So if you're interested in that, let's go ahead and hit that link and get started on your shadow work journey today.